Karamu Enhancement Group.
Ah, there it is. Brilliant.
The next 10 minutes.
Yes, just get my notes, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm here now to speak on behalf of the Karamu Enhancement Group. This group is, in its submission, acknowledges again the input that the council has made through its staff. I cannot speak highly enough of the staff, sir. They reflect greatly on the council and the way in which we're able to interact and get discussion and get consensus. It means an awful lot to our group. So this is 5 years since the Regional Council initiated that particular public meeting in Havelock North, and at that meeting Rex McIntyre, he was the chair, and several councillors were present. They asked the community to form a group, and from that group KEG got its name, and we've been working with council for 5 years now, and have found that the development down there on the Karamu, which really started with SHNEG, the St Columba's Environmental House Group, at the beginning of the millennium, has really taken off. And when we pass by and we walk there and work there, it is an absolute joy. And then to be part of groups like that, of the planting at Ruahapia this last weekend, again, it's been good to see the different groups setting up and working their way through their own way of dealing with the enhancing of the Karamu. So it's been brilliant the way in which we have worked together as a council, and it has worked, that's for sure. So when it came to beautification, we were not so much wanting so much funds as the staff member thought we were wanting. I think we were wanting a principle. It was also letting you know as a council that we are making moves elsewhere to seek funding, seek assistance to enhance the Karamu, because through that now that we've got a wonderful facility and we're working with the Hastings District Council with the walkway that is now in place, we find we now want to move into other areas. One of our members donated a seat, which has become a model for anybody else wishing to gift a seat to that area. Up by the entrance we have was the first seat, and that set the tone for the whole area. So your objectives, community objectives, fit in nicely with our vision for the future of using the Karamu and opening it up, and that's one of the things we are seeking to do. Whether it is this year, next year, I'm not sure, but again, we will keep the staff members involved and informed over those events. The other issue which we came to you last year about was over the stock and water. So we came seeking a rule that of establishment, that there should be a policy rule about no stock and water. We are pleased that as a group to find that this has been picked up, or rather there was probably parallel thinking. When one of our members looked at the Tukituk Rivers, the choices, we found that there was a report number 12, TT1, starts to sound like Star Wars, doesn't it? And then and it really started to gel that we were talking the same thing. Now, I think KEG is quite happy for TT1 under the change of 6 of the plan to be the rule. And we're happy to see that that has been picked up and followed. We couldn't understand, sir, how a council could publish a report or series of reports yet not have ownership of it and agreed or even agree to the principle of it. But we find by looking at the Tukituk choices and the report that it came from, and that was the one which dealt with the settings and so on, the nutrient management approaches for the Tukituk catchment, number 4344, that it paralleled our thinking. And so we're quite happy to see this rule TT1 be the policy rule for the council. We noticed that that the sustainable dairy water accord is being pushed, and that councillors are supporting the dairying industry in that. We still think that there is some need for the council to have a line in the sand and say, this is our preferred thinking, this is our thinking for stock. But with, excuse me, with plantings like what's happening at Ruahapia and that sort of thing, that is seen as a viable method for restricting movement of stock to the river and so on. So we're happy about that. KEG is very happy for farmers to learn and adapt to new techniques and practices, but we do feel that with a ruling like TT1, there needs to be consequences. Even the Tukituk choices spoke in some of its scenarios, the older farmers not being able to change, and if they couldn't change, then they were going to face consequences for their techniques of farming and so on. The council still needs to be vigilant on that while also educating and supporting. So we're pleased to see that sort of thing developing through the reports and through the practice and implementation of the water standards and so on. So I just simply, it makes for me to end again by thanking Council for its input. I know it's a rated imposition, if you like, on the people of Havelock, but what we're seeing and what we're feeling is, something good. Something good came from the rubbish tip that was there at the beginning of the millennium. And it's something of pride that this council can take view of and hold to, that the future of our rivers, our streams, will look as good as what we've got there. So council and councillors, thank you very much indeed for your input and continued support of that, and for KEG's involvement. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, do you realise that also down at Kohupatiki and across the river at Ratima village, there's been planting going on for the last 5 years, and some of your people at the white end of the river may not realise that Karamu, sometimes called Clive, sometimes called Ngaruroro, and sometimes called Ratima River, the planting has been going on there for some time, and on Thursday when they're having the marae celebrations, it's an opportunity for people to see just what's happening there. Is actually well ahead of Ruahapia. But I agree with your talk about Ruahapia, getting that goat and horse out of there was a great thing. It
was lovely down there on Saturday, it really was, and the sausages.
The goat tasted well, really good too.
Yeah, yeah, lovely. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions, comments, particularly, Councillor Scott?
Just one. You've mentioned how good it is, that it's well worth the rating that Havelock North are paying. Those people who don't want to go and walk by the river, should they be paying the rate?
That's their choice. They choose not to walk there, but the facility's there. I have no choice, Councillor, as to where the smoke comes from. If you're relating back to my own submission, I have no fire burning, and yet I'm asked to pay.
It's a sneaky attempt there, Councillor McGregor.
Yes, just getting back. Thanks for your fair, I think, and reasonable balanced submission. Just getting back to stock exclusion from the Karamu, which is a special problem, unlike a gravel river, with the bank, the silty bank, and there have been problems from time to time, and you've indicated that you're happy with progress, but do you really feel that we've gone far enough, or the landowners have gone far enough in keeping cattle particularly away from the banks? And would you agree to an electric fence?
Well, anything that works that is needed. I read again, sir, in the Hawke's Bay today that farmers are having problems by putting up fences, and some rogue comes along and puts them down, knocks them down, and the stock wanders. So you could put an electric fence up, and if it got the rogue who was trying to take it down, I have no problems over that. But
mainly alluding to the population and children around there, they are pretty deadly things. Once bitten, 100% time shy, I've found. Right.
Yeah, okay, and like a dog, you touch a wire, you remember, don't you? And our childhood memories come flooding back. But I take the point that the two councillors who went to press over this were talking about that that the farming industry does need to be aware, and I think they are increasingly becoming aware. Good is never satisfactory. Very good is fine. Then we go for excellent. And while I won't say we should go to excellence straight away. We should never lose sight of what we are trying to achieve.
Thank you. No further questions? Mr Kirkwood, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. This is the 5th time I've come. It's 10 submissions in 5 years. It's amazing. Your tolerance is to be admired. But I look for the products.
Thank you, sir. Cheers. Righto. Okay.